wants it anymore.
Don't watch the show. Who gives a fuck? How's that? How's that? My abacus!
But Lord.
Where is it? Here it is.
There's abacus number 4.
Sorry, Gino.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Just Joking, episode 156. I'm your host, Kevin Dombrowski, joined as always by our fantastic production team that just shows the stream and the arc of my anger leading up to this moment. We are live on the Shuli Network for the final 2 episodes of the Just Joking series. We're available everywhere after, immediately for the audio-only version. Head over to youtube.com/The Shuli Show to check out video replays. We're available everywhere. It's a fun time. If you're a longtime fan of the show and you're listening now, thank you for continuing to tune in for the final 2 episodes here. This show and the entire series is brought to you by Silk City Hot Sauce. As always, I'm sure the guys in the back have deleted all of my intellectual property having to do with Silk City or the Reeds. But here's what you can do is head over to silkcityhotsauce.com, pick up a little bottle of the Just Joking Very Serious Buffalo Sauce, put in promo code Just Joking, and you'll get 15% off your order. You'll get an extra bottle of hot sauce, and you will get some stickers. And use those stickers, place those stickers on my casket when I go into the ground next week, and remember us for the fun that we have. Now this is
Slam radio.
This is just, that was the start of the end for me, really. Here's some things that you guys might be wondering, because I'm wondering it myself, and I'm sure the chat is wondering. If you are listening to this show, tune in live next Friday for the final episode of Just Joking, where you can take place in the chat, chat along with other people, happy and angry equal. You can riff along with the headlines that we have going on, and you can ask some of your favorite comics questions that are burning in your brain, as I'm sure most of you have realized that we can do this. So here's some questions I want to lead with right away. Why am I ending the show? I've said this numerous times, but I'm sure you guys are going, why is he doing another one, even though he said he was ending it? Well, the series is over because it's over. I felt it for a while. And now I want to end it. And so that's it. So why are you still going? I wrote these questions for myself. This is really therapeutic. If you, this is therapeutic. I had some guest book. That's why the show is still going into May. When I announced the show would end, I announced that I'm going to finish out the bookings I had, because I had some friends on and I wanted to help them promote the projects that they have coming out. There's one of them right now. He's got a project. He's got a pool in his backyard. We were off last week because the Shuli Network was in Pottstown. If you are curious as to how that event went, or the possible universe around that event, you can catch up on all the other shows on the Shuli Network from this week. There's been some very funny stuff going on, so check out those other shows. Why not just end the show? The biggest question I've been asked, mostly by myself in the mirror. Well, we're 156 episodes in. We've had an amazing group of comics. Some legendary, absolutely legendary comics have been on the show. So I wanted to end it in a fun way that would be fun for fans of the longtime fans of the show, and exit it in a way that I think would be humorous and appropriate, seeing as I'm going to keep the catalog audio version running, just so people can check back on some of the episodes and see how badly these news stories aged. Speaking of which, just lined up that the guests that I had booked are some of my absolute favorite guests that we've had on the show. Some fun comics to hang out with, including our guest today, One of my absolute favorites. He was on recently for the Terrorizing Telemarketers. I believe it's Volume 7, not to be confused with Volume 6 or the potential Volume 8 coming out. He's the co-host of That Rocks. It is a YouTube show with Eddie Trunk and Jim Florentine weekly on YouTube. Follow at That Rocks Show for more. The great Don Jameson is back on, buddy. Hello.
Hey, see, I know what you're doing with this announcement, right? You're pulling a Motley Crue right now. You're like, that's it. We're done. I'm going to sign a contract in blood. The podcast is never coming back.
Sure.
And then a year from now, you go, all right, we're going to do some shows in the summertime. And then next thing you know, you're going to be lip syncing the whole podcast. And yeah, I see what you're doing. It's a good ploy,
I'm going to do a similar thing to Fred and Howard, where I'm going to have Joe actually create puppets of the previous comics we had.
Yeah.
And we'll live stream the audio, and then we'll have Joe. We'll have Joe do the voice of the other comics. So here's Joe. I'm going to need you to have a Doug Stanhope, a Bobby Collins, a Judy Gold, maybe a Todd Barry. That was a short episode. We can do that one. Jessica Curson. I was in California for that with limited service. So there's only select words you can hear from us, mostly just us laughing at each other. Mark Normand, Ari Shafir, the list goes on and on. But maybe you can come up with some puppets and we'll have
We
on.
have a Don Jameson, if you didn't know that.
We've got a Don Jameson ready to go, is what you're telling me.
Well, good. I'm going to log off then, and we'll let the puppet take over.
Well, here's what I love about you is this live show has caused immense scheduling issues for a podcast that's based around other comic schedule. You and I have done a bunch of these episodes, and it's always like, hey, let's shift time, let's do this, let's shift day according to whatever gigs we have going on. Let me tell you what doesn't work. Doing it live. When you have a Friday show and comics that are like, I missed my flight or something was delayed, Dave Landau, and I can't get here. So we've had, I love this. There was someone in the comments last week. I checked because I just wanted to see what's happening. I've been promoting Dave Landau for about 4 separate weeks on this show.
Yeah.
And so I got tired of changing the guests and I just kept putting with Dave Landau. So people keep clicking on to hear, especially now with this show on Blaze. And I just see, don't bother, Dave's not on the show. Complete waste of time. All this other stuff. So I just took a screenshot because last week his flight got delayed, and then the engine failed, and then the door malfunctioned. And so he got into, I think he was in Tacoma last weekend. When I got off stage in Nyack, New York last week, he just got to Tacoma. And I sent him a screenshot of all the comments from the episode he was supposed to be on. And he goes, that's on me. And I was like, oh, I know. I go, feel free to hop in the comments and go, I swear to God, we're friends.
You should definitely, even though the show is ending after next week, still set promo the show with Dave Landau every week.
I 100% will do that. I will. Joe, I'll actually pay you to just keep promoting the show at 2:00 every week with Kevin and Dave Landau.
You got it.
One thing I know about you, man, you are a man of your word. I was kidding around about the Motley thing because you and I had long talks, late nights at Sullivan's where you told me years ago, my dream is to have a 157 episode podcast, and you've achieved that. So you have nothing to be ashamed of.
I got to tell you, the number I'm ending on supremely bothers me. It makes absolutely no sense for anything. I was like, last week they were all in Pottstown, so I'm like, I'm going to take the week off and come back. We got Don coming on. It'll be a fun time. Will Noonan was on before that. Landau was supposed to be on. So it was just a couple butts. It was like, this is just going to be a fun way to end the show. Everything lined up. And I was like, what number am I going to end on? 157. Good old 157.
Yeah.
So
when you send out the press release, they'll be like, he did 157? He couldn't stop at 150. He had to have Jameson?
Right. What do you have, a heart attack at 156? Just did it from his hospital bed? It's gonna be like the Honeymooners, where you think it ran 10 seasons, but it was really just like 13 episodes.
Right. Which is why we know every word to every episode.
Right, exactly. Well, this week is no different. The great Mike Boschetti was supposed to be on, and I'm not gonna air out his business. Mike's got some some family issues going on that he wanted to take care of. So
Sorry, Kevin. I was supposed to be there. I apologize. What do you call? Like I said, next week I'll come on if you do 158. I'll be there. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? Oh, God.
I wanted to have you and Boschetti going back and forth as Boschetti so fucking badly. I might in like 2 years just do a reunion episode and have you and Boschetti on just to fulfill that for my own good.
Dueling machetes.
Dueling Bochettis, but we've got something better because as fate would have it, artistically, a way to end the show. We have dueling Don Jamesons. Have you heard that we have our own Don Jameson on the network?
I saw something on Twitter. It's a discount Don Jameson.
Let me introduce you,
All
the
right.
real Don Jameson, to our good buddy, Discount Don Jameson, who instead of having dueling Bochettis, we're going to have dueling Dons throughout the whole show. So, Discount Don, are you there?
Oh, hey guys, how you doing?
It's pretty good.
You know, Don Jameson must be the best looking man on the planet, and that's no Use Your Illusion 1 or 2. Good to see you, Don.
What's
we got
going
a tour
on
together this summer?
What'd you say, DD?
We got a tour together this summer. What do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Right?
let's go out. Let's go out on the road with friggin' Metallica, man.
Absolutely. Get a tour bus. I do have a demand though.
What is it?
We got to bring at least one thing. I demand we have this. I got to bring a car door. All right. If we're touring together this summer, it's going to get hot. I need to roll down the window.
Okay. I'm not
All
sure
right.
what that reference is, but
So it's like two Don Jamesons is really what it is now.
it's pretty good. I don't know who that is, but it's funny.
This is gonna be volume 8 of terrorizing telemarketers. Is you're gonna say something and then Discount Don is either gonna repeat that or ask a totally different question, and it's actually gonna be two separate people.
And then we got to get another Florentine too.
Right, we should get another floor. Actually, Joe does a pretty good Florentine. Joe, you want to give a Florentine a go?
Well, I can only repeat things that he said to me, but yesterday he was like, "Listen, Joe, fuck him."
No one gives a fuck. Why would you do that?
It's
There's no
12
reason
people
for
on
that.
Twitter. Nobody's paying attention to them.
Nobody cares. Doesn't matter what you do.
Here's what we should do: is we should do a That Rocks show wrap up with Discount Don and Discount Jim. just have the poster up on YouTube and have the two of them break down what the two of you did on each show.
That's a great idea, brother.
The audio people, that actually got me. I looked, I was like, is his screen frozen? The audio people are gonna have fun with that.
I'm now deferring my comments to my discount version.
Thanks, buddy. I'm only 20% off too. The S for savings.
Before we get to what the show, the flow of the show is, let's start the show with our new favorite segment for the YouTube video version of Just Joking. We have Joe Clears the Air. Here's what we do: is throughout the week of the Shuli Network, whatever nonsense happens that Joe is dragged into, that Joe would like to clarify his thoughts for the public, we do it on this show. Because as the tagline suggests, we're no interviews, we're no arguments, we're just jokes. So, Joe, if you want to take yourself center screen before we get to the stories and have a nice little Joe Clears the Air, I'd like to welcome the segment in.
Thank you. So this week we've got so many things to clear. I'll try and keep it brief because we want the legend Don Jameson to get as much screen time as possible. I don't want to step on any toes, but
Thanks, brother.
You're welcome. So people were really really upset about the whole Ray thing, that Ray didn't wind up having a place to stay in Pottstown because we thought the house was full, and it turned out the house wasn't full because Levy wound up going home. And I think a lot of the hate I get on Twitter is because people think I'm mean to Ray. like on purpose, and I am, but I don't know why they care so much. So what it led to this week, and hold on, I got to get into the other folder. So what it led to this week was, so I had been arrested a few years ago for aggravated assault, and the charges were dropped because, let me give you a little bit of the backstory. So one day, Jenna and I are walking our little 5-pound Chihuahua, and the neighbor across the street, this guy, comes out of his house with a bat in his hand and hit me in the face.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Which
few
side?
weeks.
Discount Joe.
Yeah, what side of your face did you get hit on?
Side, my right side. So a few weeks later, he came charging out of his house like he wanted to fight again. So I drew my handgun, and I didn't point it at him. I kept it pointed at the ground, but he decided he had better things to do. And he called the cops and told them I pulled a gun out on him. So of course they came and arrested me. But like once everything got sorted out, you know, they start doing their investigation, whatever, the charges were dropped. I have my firearms back. I don't have a conviction for a felony, let alone a misdemeanor or anything. So I'm not sure why the people on Reddit think it's such a big. I think they were hoping that like Shuli and Don and Jim would like fire me because it's so embarrassing, the fact that you would be working with someone who was arrested. But as Florentine reminded me yesterday, I had Joey Diaz at my house last week. The guy kidnapped somebody. I'm friends with Chad Zumock. So, you know, after talking to Jim, I felt a lot better about it. And, you know, we talked about it on the air today. And if they, like the people that hate me that were releasing this stuff, hoping that it was going to get me fired, all it's done is ensure that I'm definitely getting my own show on this channel. So I really appreciate that. I gave Shuli the opportunity earlier. Don, I'll give you the same opportunity. If you'd like to publicly fire me in front of everybody, this is your chance.
Well, I mean, part of the, see, it's like I could read into you, like I could read into Kevin. He's going to have the reunion, just joking, a year from now. This is like most people would just say, let me sweep this under the rug because it's just a bunch of nerds on Reddit anyway. So who cares? But I see what Joe's doing. I read between the lines. He's exposing this because he just wants to let everybody on the Shuli network and me, Jim and Eddie know, don't fuck with me, okay? I carry a piece. So there you go.
Discount
Don.
Don.
Nobody fucks with Joe.
That's right. Discount Don, would you like to fire Joe in front of everyone?
You know what, guys? All this fighting, you know, reminds me of the Metallica tour, Master of Puppets. Lars got up from his drum kit, okay? Somehow he kept playing, ran across the stage, punched James Hetfield, ran back to his drum kit, and never stopped playing. It was wild.
I would never say James Hetfield, but it was good.
It's my favorite music.
That's going to be the only way we're going to be able to decipher the AI Don Jameson taking over. As if he slightly mispronounces Rockstar's actual names that only the real Don Jameson would know.
Yeah, I didn't mind that Lars was still playing, even though he wasn't behind the drums. It was the fact that he mispronounced Hetfield's name.
You're like a metal detective.
That's where the 20% discount comes in.
You know what's great? I don't want to know who this person is. I like it the way I just like it the way it is. It'll ruin it if I know who it is.
It's everybody's new favorite bit. So yeah, I was arrested once, and nobody but the people on Reddit and Twitter seemed to care about it. But it did make a whole lot of waves on Twitter, and got me all, like I said to somebody earlier. I know this is the wrong way to be feeling about it, but Don kind of nailed it. It's like I'm enjoying the attention. Like nobody's ever talking about Kevin Dombrowski on Twitter.
Thank
right?
God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
They've been dedicating their whole lives to me for the last 24 hours. It's pretty flattering, and it's done nothing but help me, you know, get more airtime here. So I appreciate that. Part of my job here is to get more eyes on the network. We had 200 people watching behind the paywall this morning because people were tuning in. I don't know if that was for me or the whole stuff with WATP, but either way, yeah. So that's the story. That was.
I feel like the next call that his neighbor makes is Joe's just going to be pointing a gun at his own wife for airtime. Yes. He's not threatening me, but for some reason he keeps hitting his family with a bat and then pointing a gun at the ground.
Anything to get on the air.
What made the guy come and hit you with a bat? See, that's the piece of the puzzle we don't know.
So Jen and I were walking our dog. We have a little 5-pound Chihuahua named Jack, and we were walking
there you go.
Jack.
Well, I would hit you. I want to hit you in the face right now just hearing the story.
I don't blame you. And Jack lifted his leg on the guy's lawn. So he was mad that Jack was peeing on his lawn. Which, okay, fine, but like running out with the bat seems like a bit of an overreaction.
I don't know,
Are you
man.
sure it wasn't you peeing on the lawn, Joe?
That's right.
It was not me. No, I pee on my lawn.
And Jack's not the name of your penis.
No, it's my Chihuahua.
Okay. And you don't have a 5-pound penis. Let's just clarify all the rumors.
None of
right
that.
now.
Yeah, no.
But its name is Jack.
My penis is called Discount Don Jameson.
There's just
how I get the ladies interested.
Yeah, can you turn the mic under your desk up? It's similar to how Lars mics up his drum kit even though he's not playing. It's just right focused at him. And then every time his dick talks, it sounds like Don Jameson.
Even today, when was the last time we had 80 people watching live? I'm sure it's not because of Don Jameson.
All right, Joe, that's enough. Thanks for clearing everything up. We'll talk to you later.
Why was that Discount Don? Why was your real mouth moving?
Yeah, cut Joe loose. What's going on here?
Look, I'm going to change my mind right now. If this could be every show, it's just Don lip syncing and then Discount Don talking in the background. I'll start a new podcast right now. I don't give a fuck.
Otto and Don.
Well, anyway, I guess that I've probably stolen enough of your airtime. I will let you get back to your guest and your show.
It's all good.
I've done enough damage here.
No, we do love when Joe clears the air. It's one of my favorite segments because I absolutely can't stand the drama that surrounds everything. And so when Joe comes on to clear the air, it's a feeling of taking a bath. I feel like we're cleansing ourselves here and saging, really saging Joe's firearms.
Say it with a smile, truthfully. I'm telling you. You're doing Wilmington with Gino Bisconti.
Gino Bisconti.
Truthfully.
$20. I got to tell you, Gino, you're really you're paying my mortgage with these weekly $20 super chats here. Can we just is there another name for super chat that doesn't sound like a 13-year-old fucking girl doing an unboxing video? Can we just say like a member chat or something manlier? I can't bring myself to say thanks for the super chat. It sounds ridiculous to me, but also someone just became a member of the Shuli Network. Thanks for doing it on this show. We appreciate you. Waited 10 episodes too late, but thank you.
Yeah, but I'm glad to be on the Shuli Network because I've been, like you were saying before, it's impossible to do live because I've been trying to do Miserable Men for the last month, and it's just I can't get on. I just the times that they do it, I haven't been able to do it, and I really want to, but it just hasn't gone down. So just so I'm clearing the air on that. I'm not. It's not because I don't like Discount Don. I'm not doing the network. It's just the way it is.
Well, I got to be honest. I've been in. I feel like this is just. I feel like we're in your head. It's like being John Malkovich. You just hear the thoughts in your own voice in your head throughout the day. That's what it feels like. I've been in on the production meetings, and I got to tell you, the reason you haven't been on Miserable Men is because we have a discount on that we don't have to pay.
You guys wonder why everyone from the network looks like Scott Ian from Anthrax? All these bald guys running around. Kevin, can you put a lollipop in your mouth and solve crimes in an hour?
That one was too believable. I think you need to be a little bit more ridiculous to be Discount Don.
Yeah.
Just to make Joe feel better, let's go to the first story here that shows that Twitter and online is it's just a lot of smoke and mirrors going on. The first story that we have is this is fantastic. I don't know if you've been seeing trending on Twitter, Real Don, of Jamie Foxx is in some sort of medical downward spiral. No one's saying exactly what happened or what's going on with him, but there's been continuous pray for Jamie Foxx. His family's preparing for the worst. It's been steady storylines like this. And then finally, his daughter tweeted this week, Jamie's been out of the hospital for weeks and in the best physical shape of his life. It is my absolute favorite thing that this storyline continues. And then a family goes, you guys really need to check your sources on what's happening. I mean, dude, it just proves It just proves that everything, it's perception is reality. Whatever you say in the online sector, if someone reads that doesn't know the other side, just believes that it's fact.
Right. Well, it's like with Eddie Van Halen, and this is the real Don Jameson talking. It was like with Eddie Van Halen, right? He was like, people were saying he's flying to Germany to get these cancer treatments, and he's dying. And then like a week later, he posts a video of him like backstage with his son, hanging out with people, and he looks great. So you never know what the truth is, and that's the problem. It's like, first of all, we don't know. Is Jamie Foxx, is he close to death? I mean, if he is, thanks, Brian. If Jamie's close to death, the first thing I would do is start working on a discount Jamie Foxx. But if he's fine, then leave the guy alone. Why do we have to know what's wrong with the guy? It doesn't matter. The guy, maybe Will Smith slapped him and he got brain damage. Who knows? But let the guy get better and he'll come back and he'll be Jamie Foxx again. Who cares?
Wouldn't it be great if Trump had like a fucking on fire Jamie Foxx impression ready to go to be discount? Wouldn't that just be, it would just twist the Matrix in half. Have you ever seen Jamie Foxx's Donald Trump impression?
No.
Oh, boys in the back, see if you can get a clip of that. Jamie Foxx does, I mean, it would give Shane Gillis and Alec Baldwin a run for their money. Speaking of gun charges, the impression that Jamie Foxx has, I bet you Jamie Foxx could start an insurrection tomorrow if he were to get on a podcast as discount Donald
Fox.
Trump. Yeah. And just have everything go. Yeah, he could just point everyone there. It would be fucking hilarious. Yeah, dude. But that's just the thing.
Anytime, Joe. Anytime you want to pull that up.
Look at this. Check this out.
On both sides. Lots of great people on both sides. I know Harry O. He's a great person. He couldn't vote for me at the time. Now he can vote for me once he gets out. I love Snoop Deal Double G. Great person.
So do you love Death Row Records?
I love
People
Death
on both
Row.
sides.
I love Death. Excuse me. Fake news. I love Death Row.
What's your favorite Death Row record, Mr. Trump?
All of them. All of the Death Row records. Don't try to pin me down. I see what he just. Excuse me.
Fake news.
Excuse me.
Fake news.
Fake news.
All right, now what I'm gonna do?
Yeah. Thanks, Joe.
Real Don Jameson. What's your favorite metal record of all time?
Wow, that was a hard left.
Well, no, I'm
Jamie Foxx might be dead. What's your favorite metal album?
I'm gonna have Discount Don do one right after you. We're gonna
Okay.
put a battle of the discounts together here.
Oh boy. I can only listen to one album the rest of my life. AC/DC Powerage.
Hey, Discount Don Jameson, what's your favorite metal record?
That's a good question. I mean, I think Don was right. I mean, tell me if I'm not right or wrong, Don. AC/DC 2009, the Black Ice Tour at Giant Stadium. Is not that probably the best concert we've ever been to?
I've heard that somewhere before.
But I would probably myself, Discount John Jameson, probably Metallica, Master of Puppets.
I can't argue, on that one. I mean, that's a lot of people's favorite. So
What I love about that is because that was the best concert we've ever been to, right? This is what it's going to feel like when you eventually go fucking insane and you have to be locked in a padded cell.
right, but except I up till now I actually like the voice in my head.
What are you trying to say, Don?
So I like the impression's good, and he's got me down. And I've told the AC/DC 2009 story more than once. So obviously he's heard it somewhere, and that really was that's the truth. That's the best rock concert I ever saw.
Now I feel like it's just creeping you out. What if we just pulled it up and it was Florentine at the back, and you were like, "What is this?"
Oh yeah, and the career's over after that. That's it. That. I got nowhere to go after that. If that's Florentine.
Sorry, Don, just me.
Hey, Discount Jim Florentine, why are we on the BS show right now?
That's a good question. Eddie Trunk handles that.
Discount Eddie.
Discount Eddie Trunk.
Discount Eddie. You think we can get the Just Joking background while it's still in the folder? We have one episode left.
They've already deleted
The
it.
reason here in the other folder was I wanted to answer this question. The guy was asking if my neighbor hit me with a bat, why wasn't there an arrest and a restraining order? He was indeed arrested. That is his mugshot right there. And there was a restraining order on him at the time that he came marching down his driveway towards me to fight the second time. So that is the answer to that question.
Can I just thank you for that one? Can I just go ahead and say that mugshot looks like a discount Kevin Dombrowski? I think we've completed. We've got the trifecta now.
He is Polish, that guy.
We can, yeah. I actually read the report yesterday when I saw it on Twitter. I was like, I love Joe. I got to see what happened here. I think if we can just somehow move his mouth and have me and discount Don Jameson, we can keep the whole series going. I don't even have to try.
We can soak it for another 5 years.
Let's re-sign the contract, baby.
It's almost a cross between me and Kevin Brennan. The discount Don Jameson.
But we sell tickets, Don.
I'm sure you and I will have a good week after this. Once that gets clipped. Speaking of not having a good week, it's older news now that Jerry Springer has died. Here is new video that's been released. I don't know if you saw this. This is one of the greatest stories of revenge I've ever seen. So apparently it's been leaked that Jerry Springer had 2 illegitimate kids with a black woman. So he's got 2 black kids. He wanted to be a part of their life, and his current wife would not let him be a part of their lives. So he was so ashamed of it. She basically threatened blackmail. She was like, I'll go public with your infidelity, XYZ. So before he died, he made a video of himself as a will and testament. And go ahead and play the video. I want to get Real Don's reaction on this. Sound.
You're on top of your game, Joe.
Were you not hearing the audio?
Not hearing the audio.
Well, hold on. Let's see if we can figure out why.
Is there a discount Jerry Springer that we can get in? Can we get a discount Jerry that's got 2 illegitimate children that could maybe fill in the story?
His whole show, wasn't that his whole show about people having kids with outside of their relationships?
That was actually Maury. Jerry's show was about the type of sex that they had outside of the marriage. So it was like I had sex like on a bookshelf with 2 little people at the same time while my neighbor watched and filmed and then hit me with a bat. Something like that.
Perfect.
I loved your John Misha. I did a terrible, terrible thing for terrible reasons. I let fear and ignorance and quite honestly hatred keep me away from you and your beautiful, beautiful mother. And I've spent the last 26 years in complete and crippling shame. And it is still a drop in the bucket of the immeasurable amount of pain I have caused each of you. My wife learned of your arrival, Misha, and demanded that I cut you off completely. I tried to reason with her, but she threatened to expose my infidelity and my illegitimate children. And I was such a coward. I'm a coward even now for making this video instead of making the effort to meet you. Mm-hmm. I am ashamed and disappointed with myself. I didn't know how to stand to my truth and stand up to my wife. I did, however, manage to stand up for you, John and Misha. While Joan kept me away from you with the threat of exposure, she did not keep me from providing for you. You see, I told her that if I had to accept a life without you, she would not get a red cent of my fortune, and that you would be named equally in my will.
I would also not pay for the hooker with the check.
My passing. But with everything going on in the world right now, I realize that I have to go a step further. Jordan, Megan, I leave our home here in New Orleans to you to do with whatever you want. The rest of my estate, my properties in Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, my bank accounts, investment portfolios, all liquid and intangible assets, everything, all of it will go to my children, John and Misha. Girls, all your life, I've been telling you to make your millions, and I hope you have. If not, you can always sell the house and split the profit. But my entire estate belongs to John and Misha, and it is up to them to do with it what they will.
Let me guess. They're going to go, fuck you. I think that's what they will. Here's what I also, first off, there's so much to unpack here. Number one, he almost says, I leave my estate in New York, and then he recants that and goes, that's probably worth more than New Orleans.
Right.
And he pulled an old switcheroo. I leave my estate in New Orleans. This what shithole am I in right now that I can give my shitty white kids?
Right.
I leave my estate in New Orleans. By the way, in a black neighborhood. Good luck to my white kids. Sell it and do with it what you please.
Right. And my estate in Westchester goes to the black children.
Have fun fucking with the neighbors. And he goes all of it. And he goes on. I fucking love this. Not only does he give his illegitimate children everything, but he goes on to list it in order of like real estate value. So his spoiled little white kids can hear that and go, why am I even in this video?
It's brutal, man. I mean, that's worse than when Ralph thought he was going to inherit that woman's fortune that came on his bus in the honeymooners, and fortune turned out to be the parrot.
Was that episode 156?
It was. They only did 157 episodes, right towards the end. Wasn't a great episode, much like the reference I made. But I wish I could blame that on Discount Don, but I can't. Hey, listen, he can do what he wants with this money, but this is going to be in court for the next 20 years, them fighting over this, so it's kind of a shitty thing because he's going to pit his legitimate kids with the ones that he had with his mistress. But hey, I mean, look, reparations is all the rage now. So he's just giving out personal reparations.
All the rages. What a funny way to describe reparations. It's all the rage.
It's the hot topic.
I would have liked if he ended that will with take care of yourself and your illegitimate children, and then the gun goes off. Did you, by the way, I'm skipping ahead just a little bit here. Boys in the back. There's a story. It's in two stories, but let's bring it up. 2 or 3 stories. Let's bring it up now. Actually, you've pointed out. I think 5 stories ahead of here. The reparations thing. This is such a ridiculous. I almost said reparations is a ridiculous thing. This headline is such a ridiculous sentence to say about reparations. So this Ohio Senate candidate is, I don't know. I really don't know what his point he's trying to make is, because his point is to be inclusive and make up for the treatment of black people historically in this country. But what he said is he wants to float reparations for white people. And the way that he said is, what about the white people that fought against slavery and on the side of black people historically in this country? What about getting them a percentage of the reparations that we would give to black people? It's the most confusing statement I've ever heard in my life, because you're like, is he for or against it? Well, like, who is he actually trying to reach within this speech?
I don't know. It is confusing. It was sort of like, I mean, look, this is where we are in the society, like with all this reparation talks, which I don't think it's going anywhere, but it's just, it just proves like it's never enough.
Right.
Once one group gets it, then another group has to get it. And then if you don't get it, then there's racism. If you do get it, it's still not enough. They're already yelling about, okay, we'll give 1.2 million to every black person in San Francisco. And they go, no, we want 900 million each. So, it just goes on and on. Now there's going to be somebody who wants reparations. What about the Native Indians? Don't they deserve reparations? We took their land, what about that woman? She was born like that. She deserves cash.
I've never heard someone be so inclusive they sound racist. It was really truly. It's like one of those games where they lock you inside and then air shoots up and then they put money in and you try to grab everything you can and you leave the booth. That's the statement that guy just made. he threw out a little bit for everyone. If I'm being honest, it's like he's like, let me see who I can grab to vote for me. I think we should have reparations, but it should also be white people included. But the white people that fought for slavery and against black people, you're like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still processing the Jerry Springer thing. So. I mean, why didn't those kids go on Maury? They would have. They could have exposed them. On Maury's 156th episode, they could have went on, and then they go bring out Jerry. We got the results of the DNA test.
That's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Is that's a
good way to go out.
They should have had a fraternal test on Maury, and Jerry Springer was the father.
So yeah, who knows? Who knows with all this stuff, man? Like I said, you got to include everybody, right. And then if you don't, then people complain, and if you do, it's not going to be enough. So who knows? I'd rather discount Don answer that one.
Yeah, discount Don. You want to sum up what real Don Jameson is trying to say here?
I think what Don's trying to say is that they should dig up Jerry. He should do his own podcast and supplement some income for those kids.
You think Jerry can get some super chats in?
I think so, yeah. You got the right people around you, though. Usually alive.
Right, that's absolutely right. But then sometimes their schedules get in the way, and you say that you're going to have guests that you actually don't have on.
That's true. Actually, Eddie Trunk won't let me book any guests either. It's true. I had a great idea. You book 2 guests in case one doesn't show up, right? I would have booked Scott Whalen and Jimi Hendrix. If one doesn't show up, the other would, right?
Scott Whalen definitely wouldn't have shown up, especially since his name is Scott Weiland and he's dead.
And there's your 20% discount, Don.
Yeah, you're going too far into the Kevin Brennan area. You gotta come back with the little high pitch part of my voice.
I'll try to bring it back, brother.
Here's a discount version of a family member here. Robert De Niro, at age 79, has revealed that he's welcomed his 7th baby. What in the world is going on here? I mean, that's fucking insane, dude. That you could be 79 and still have active sperm. I don't even know if I'm able to have another child at 38 years old. This guy, I mean, I think this guy can give Jack Nicholson a run for his money.
He's like the old white Nick Cannon.
My God, are you only 38 years old?
Put up the headshot. Put up your neighbor's mugshot. This is actually what I'm going to send comedy clubs from now on. There it is. Yeah. That was me when I started comedy.
Yeah.
Speaking of the comedy and making the news here, did you hear about Chrissy Mayer's been fucking all over the headlines? One of your compound peers going on. So she was in Texas. I think she was at Hyena's Comedy Club, and she made a transgender joke specifically about Dylan Mulvaney, and people got up and walked out and called her a transphobe. And there was a whole exchange going on. I don't know if you saw any of the video. I don't want to even take time to watch. It's like a 2-minute clip. Okay, so you saw it. There's a whole back and forth discussion. This is I don't know that it's so loaded for me. I guess, what was your take? First off, let's what's your opinion on it?
I mean, I couldn't really make out what some of the jokes were because the audio wasn't great. But I think what got those people was when she said, yeah, some of us live in reality and some of us don't. I think that was the burn that got them, and it was a great line. Yeah. And I think that line could apply to just about any of the stories you sent me today. Is just I was in a good mood. I was coming on here with you today. I was going to see Bichetti. I hadn't seen Bichetti in years. I have a date tonight. And every story you sent me aggravated one more than the other. And that line was perfect for the world that we live in. Some of us live in reality and some of us don't. So who cares what she said? They're called jokes. It doesn't mean she doesn't like trans people. If you're a comic and you think other comics should be censored, then you shouldn't be a comic. You know, you got to stand behind comics, man, because you see it on Twitter. Comics are going, "Oh, she shouldn't have said that." What are you talking about? She shouldn't have said it. She's a comic. She's on stage making jokes. If you don't like the jokes, you don't have to laugh. But I think that was the line that got them. Like, some of us live in reality and some of us don't. And the crowd went nuts. That was awesome.
Yeah, I agree with you. There should be, I don't think there should be any topic off of discussion. I think the way that you do it, I think how funny it is, the timing of it, it all matters. It's like reality on stage matters in terms of, all right, make that joke, but there is consequences for making a joke about a certain subject at a certain time. It's just, real life also applies off of there. But that's a great point, man. I mean, look, I've been friends with Gino Visconti for 13 years. I don't like anything he says on or
Slam radio.
So there's, but I would never, you know what I mean? You go, yeah, right. The guy jokes about it. What are you gonna do? He's a comic. I don't agree with anything that comes out of his mouth.
Right, and you had him open your special.
That's right. It's twice. Yeah. I did it to myself. I like to dig a hole. I really like to dig dig myself out of a hole to get momentum going. Actually, it's funny. There's a lot of people have asked that in terms of like, what's it like to have a comic like Gino open up a show for you? And I'll go, I love it because he doesn't chase him away, but he's so shocking to normal people on stage that they hear everything offensive up front. And then I'll have another comic like Casey Balsham is an outstanding comic, or like Regina DeChico warms up the View. She was the feature on my first recording. You have Gino fucking shock everyone. Then you have the next comic smooth everything over. And by the time I get up, you've heard every type of thing. Like you've been pushed to the edge and you've been pulled back and hugged. So when I get up, it's like a good in between of if I say anything that you might find offensive, you've heard way worse than that. So you're not going to be offended. But at the same time, I'm going to be able to push you a little bit further than just, not that the other two comics are like pandering, but they're just so fucking likable that on stage, I'll be able to stir you up if I need it for the joke. And it's perfect.
It's a perfect storm for you. And here, I'll do a discount Don Jameson for you. It's like when Ozzy had Metallica open for him on the Ultimate Sin tour. Here's Metallica, super, super heavy, thrashy. And then the audience is like, oh my God, this is way too heavy for us. Then when Ozzy comes out, when he came down on the big throne, right? And he comes down and now everybody goes crazy because now Ozzy restores order to the music world. Right, Discount Don?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to argue with myself here.
I would love to hear I would love to hear Discount Bochetti's take on the whole Chrissy Mayer thing.
Oh God, Kevin, like I said, what do you call Chrissy Mayer? She's a great comic. She's a good friend of ours. Am I right or wrong? I think this is our year. It takes longer for characters to develop. Am I right or wrong, Kev? Oh God.
You've never been more right, Mike. You've never been more right.
That's a great impression, brother.
Thank you, Discount Don. What do you call? How's Jim Norton?
Joe, if you do nothing else for me, by the time I'm at the door, just clip up, isolate real Don's face of his eyes rolling into his head, and then randomly asking how Jim Norton is.
Well, he conks out sometimes when he loses his train of thought. And he takes a little nap, and then, how's Eric McMahon?
I thought it'd be fun to take some of Don actually talking, but replace it with Discount Don's audio and see if anyone notices.
I'm super into that too. Look, the body of material is this is intellectual property for you. Whatever you guys want to do here.
It's my new favorite that every time he does I saw this band on this tour in this city, it doesn't matter what the context is, it cracks me up.
But the best part about it, thank you, brother. The best part about it is whoever this person is, the only impression they probably do is of me. and the only impression that I do is a Buscetti. So it's two idiots who do impressions of people who will never ever be famous.
That's 100% right.
Like I thought Buscetti, I'm like, he'll be on Saturday Night Live someday, and or Buscetti will be huge, and I'll be on Saturday Night Live the next week doing my impression of him, but it just didn't happen like that.
Joe, can you bring up Discount Dombrowski to just stare off and agree with everything Real Don just said? Do me the favor there. There he is. Right there.
Yeah, I'll show that asshole's mugshot as much as you want me to.
What are you talking about? It's my headshot. I'm going to be at Bananas Comedy Club tonight.
See what Florida does to teenagers?
Someone, Discount Dombrowski, would just be laughing at everything that everyone says and then coughing in the background because he smokes too much. That's hilarious. This is speaking of doing impressions. This is fucking crazy. I don't like to have an opinion on what other people do. I truly don't, and it sounds like I'm copping out. I don't like to give a fuck about what someone else does with their lives, but this is too funny not to comment on. There is a new community that's coming out now called the Transabled community. And these are people choosing to identify as handicapped people. Real Don, this has got to be one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I don't like this is, I mean, this would be like Rachel Dolezal, right? The woman that was pretending to be black. This would be like if she had a physical impression of a black person and then walked in front of a black person. Like, think of how offensive that would be to be like, so that's how black people walk? Is that what you're saying to me? Because you identify as this? This is a person pretending to be handicapped. Isn't this just what we did growing up? There's a person pretending to be handicapped. Isn't that what we did growing up? Is you pretended to be fucked up and walked by someone else for attention?
Yeah, but what they're saying is that some of these people, are actually trying to get like their limbs cut off, like healthy limbs.
Oh, no way. Is that really?
Yeah.
I should let you know that this is the first time I've ever sent a guest stories because you were just on the email chain. I don't read any of these stories. I just look at the headlines.
No, that's what they're saying. They're saying that like there's people who want to go to doctors and say, yeah, can you amputate, my arms?
I've always down deep inside felt like I'm a lefty instead of a righty. Would you do me a favor? Just take off my right arm. So I'm forced to just go left the whole time.
I'm all for it. Let them cut off whatever limbs they want. I'm all for they're guys are cutting off their penises. So, why not their arm? Why not their leg?
Sure. Well, I guess it's the crossover we've all been waiting on.
Yeah. Just say, hey, I'll, before I fire up the chainsaw, just so you know, you get no health benefits after this. Right. Because that's what they're going to do. Then they're going to get on they're going to get on whatever the thing is. And then, because now they're handicapped, but they're not. I mean, you can't just go in and say, hey, can you cut my arm off? I mean, or maybe you can. Who knows?
Is that a pre-existing condition, do you think? If you've my leg fell asleep when I was 12, cut it off for me, and then I'll eat ice cream in bed like Forrest Gump.
Yeah. I don't know. It's wild, man. I don't know what to make of it, but I say, yeah, let people want you amputate a healthy limb. Go ahead, let them.
Yeah. Should we do a discount Joe Rogan podcast and just keep saying it's wild back and forth to each other? Dude, how wild is that? How what to think I want to cut off my leg? It's wild.
Pretty good.
Maybe, you know what? There it is. That's the only one I can do. I already look bald. It's discount Rogan. We'll do discount Joe Rogan. We'll do discount Don, discount Florentine.
I'm in.
On the other side of the coin here, because Fox News had picked up the Christian Mayer article, carrying the freedom of speech storyline. We've got CNN on the other side, quick to censor people here. I've been hanging on to this story for a while, just not getting to it on certain episodes. But I do think this is timeless, and I would love to get your opinion on this. Is that CNN has posted, if you're white and you've posted a GIF or an emoji or a meme of a black person to express your emotion, you may be guilty of wearing digital blackface.
Okay, let me straighten out the headline. If you're any color and you're over 13 and you're posting memes of anything, you should be banned from every social media platform. Grow the fuck up.
Discount Florentine. Can I get you to co-sign that?
Sure,
I'll get right on that.
We had dueling Florentines in the back.
Yeah, Jim would look at it and go, brutal. No reason for that.
Brutal.
You should not, if you're a grown human of any race or you shouldn't be posting GIFs or GIFs or whatever they're called. Stop doing that. Stop wasting your time. Go out and, you think I got here today and got a discount version of myself by sitting home tweeting out memes?
I do. I think that's the only way to get booked on this show, honestly.
It was a lot of fun to try and explain to Mr. Florentine about the emojis for the members on the YouTube channel. He's like, they're what? How old are these people?
Yeah,
Special little things like
yeah.
that.
When we found out we had emojis on That Rocks, you just saw I never saw disgust in Florentine's face. Like I never even saw him that mad when he got divorced.
Great, I'm an emoji now.
Oh, great. How old are our members? What are they, 6?
It's great. Actually, to become a member of That Rocks, you just register on meganslaw.com. Did you see that one? Speaking of fucked up sexual excursions, the highest, I think it's the most in demand sex dolls currently racking up right now are Princess Diana, Kate Middleton, and Meghan Markle are the top celebs. Can you imagine having a royals foursome with a Princess Diana, Kate Middleton, and Meghan Markle sex doll?
And look, Harry must be proud. His mom, his sister-in-law, and his wife are the most fuckable dolls on the market. Like, he should put that out as a press release. Like, I'm proud, everybody, all the women in my life are fuckable,
100%. Yeah, everyone thinks I look so weird with this red hair, but here I am having.
Yeah, and can he do something about that patchy hair that he's got? He looks like if someone beat the crap out of Ed Sheeran. You're rich. You put a patch on it or something. Get a hairstyle going. But that's the thing. Is like, wouldn't you rather have sex with a Meghan Markle doll?
Yes.
Than the real thing. I mean, and that would be fun. You have sex with her, and then when you get done, you pop her, and she's gone. Perfect.
You don't have to have a conversation about the book tour.
Hi, Gina.
Gina in the chat. Hi, Gina Levy. Thanks for watching. Harry and Meg. This is, dude, have you followed any of this? So I just get these headlines that pop up on my phone. Is that the Harry Markle sex doll?
Yes. I guess so.
I love it.
Oh my God.
That's great.
That's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. It's just a straight bald head with a red beard.
What other credits does Meghan Markle have? Like, I'd be honored. Like,
Suits. She's got suits on TBS.
She was on in 2 Hallmark Channel movies in 2003. So I'd be proud. I'd be like, my doll's fuckable.
I've wanted to fuck several Hallmark movie stars, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I absolutely do.
Did you there's
except that
one. Did you this is kind of funny. So there was a story where Harry and Meghan also, good for you for knowing which one is which. That surprises me. I'm gonna text Florentine after this episode that which royal is which. He's gonna go, that's gayer than emojis.
I'll just say Discount Don said it.
So I guess Harry and Meghan went to some Broadway play, and then there were outside paparazzi taking their pictures, and it made them hard to pull away. And they went on this long story about how there was a 2-hour pursuit of paparazzi throughout New York, and they got into several near fatal accidents, eerily sounding similar to a Princess Diana story we saw decades ago. And the best part of this is that no one fucking believes them. I love when someone comes out and says something and then everyone's like, yeah, no, that's bullshit. It's
Well,
just
that's Florentine has a whole podcast. Basically, he calls the episodes "That Never Happened," and it's stuff like that where it's like it's usually like social media stuff where somebody posts on Facebook. I was online at the store and this woman and her kid were in front of me and they couldn't afford all the items, so I took $20 out of my wallet and I gave it to them because I'm such a good person. And then Florentine. That never happened. It never happened. You're just looking for attention. And then the people in the comments are going to try to outdo you too with their own stories that didn't happen. That's exactly what this is. It never happened. These people live in a bubble where you can't be uncomfortable in any way. God forbid, like somebody gets within 6 inches of you. Oh, he's trying to kill me. Try being a comic. Try driving to fucking Altoona, Pennsylvania for $75 on a Saturday night for a Steve Bix gig that they left the fucking TVs on. There's no microphone and you don't get a hotel room and you got to drive 5.5 hours home and you don't even get paid with a check like a month later. Yeah, that's uncomfortable. 3 paparazzi coming up and getting a little too close, taking your picture. Stay home.
I have a question, Kevin, real quick.
Go for it.
It's been a while since I've been in New York. You guys are up that way, but has the traffic gotten less than when I was a kid? Because where are they having a high-speed chase in Manhattan?
Well, so here's the thing. That's a great question, Joe. Next time, please ask it as discount.
Of course.
Discount Jim. Look, first off, that's a great question. I always talk to LA comics that come in and they go, this traffic is crazy. And you go, what is your problem? Because it's the hackiest premise in the world that LA has traffic. The problem with LA traffic is that it doesn't make sense when it happens and when it doesn't happen. That's the whole thing. You can't plan anything. In New York, there is a dedicated time where there's going to be traffic. And if you get caught in it, you're a fucking idiot. It's because you did not plan. What are you, Chris Christie, coning off the bridge? Women dying in ambulances because they couldn't plan when to go? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's, dude, between 4 and 6. I'll give you to 6:30 sometimes. There is a group of traffic getting in and out of the city, and it congests because everything bottlenecks. That's it. I have not taken a subway to a stand-up gig. Jesus Christ. I would say maybe since 2017. Wow. I've driven to all one gig I've had since 2017. I've driven to it. No, dude, I never have I never have a problem parking in front of whatever club I'm at because all the parking ends, all the commercial parking ends at 7 p.m. That's when shows start. I pull up to every club I ever perform at. I'll park within a block or two, even in the Village on the weekend. It's not a problem going in and out. If you are in Midtown, there might be some congestion, but there's never this thing where you're weaving in and out of traffic. And if there is, it's because the Holland Tunnel is being worked on at 11 o'clock on a weekday, you fucking piece of garbage mayor. When I'm downtown, I now have to take the fucking Lincoln Tunnel or the bridge to get another hour into New Jersey. You cock smoker that now that's where the issue is. But you would know that. And
that's wild. That's really, isn't that wild?
Dude, how wild is
tunnel
it?
Traffic and working on at 11. That's wild.
Think about
traffic and weather together on the ones here on Just Joking.
You give us 22 minutes and I'll quit my show. Think about how wild it is that we have tunnels underwater.
Yeah,
I mean,
how does it not seep in?
Do you think
wild?
The aliens knew? Let's get crazy. The aliens knew. They had to have seen the tunnels.
Yeah.
Just think of it. No, if you drive a car in New York City and you're
don't
not
going
know
over 35,
fine. But if
you're
you
not
don't
going
know,
over 35 at any one time in Manhattan anywhere, so there was no high speed chase.
Never had. And also,
and for hours,
a detective that was on the case that heard the whole story, he did the Florentine. He goes, that didn't happen. And he goes, there was no high-speed chase. It wasn't 2 hours. And also, no one that drives a car in New York City does not know the alternate streets to go if there is congestion at night. You just fucking know what to avoid. And I don't believe that they hired a British driver like a TGIF sitcom to get in the back and then drive them downtown to find the Holland Tunnel was closed and they were taking pictures of me and I could have died like my mom. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they live, and that's what, and the young people growing up now, the Gen Zers, they can't be uncomfortable for 1 second. You have to, I have to have comfort all the time. That's why those people walked out on Chrissy. It's like, she said something, maybe I'm uncomfortable now, I got to leave. And that's all right. They're allowed to leave, but nobody can have any uncomfortableness whatsoever. Just think about this. That dumb ginger could have just sat in that stupid castle and kept his mouth shut and be worth $2 billion right now.
Yep.
But instead, he's got to go out with her, who makes Gwyneth Paltrow look relatable, and he's got to actually create content and work deals in Hollywood and for Spotify. You could have just sat in Buckingham Palace and did nothing, and you'd be worth even more than you're worth now. Why put yourself through that aggravation? It doesn't make any sense.
I agree with you. Discount Don, do you want to agree with that?
I absolutely agree 100%. How can you not agree with that?
Thanks for the cosign on that, buddy. Here's what proves real Don Jameson's point here. Number one, Princess Diana's ex-guard speaks out against the whole high pursuit. And he was like, there's no way that actually happened. I was around during that. It wasn't anything like that, which is super damning. I'll tell you the most damning evidence against this. Whoopi Goldberg went out and started shitting on Harry and Meghan about how that's not a real story.
Oh, yeah. See, when you've lost the view, there's no coming back from that. There really isn't. It's incredible what goes on with those two. It's like, and it was funny because I'm the idiot who reads these stories when you send them. The most maddening thing in the whole article was, because it's obvious they lied about it, but the most incredible thing was because she got an award called the Women of Vision Award. What does that even mean? That's a made-up award. It's not even a real award. Like, they're like, well, what can we give her an award for? She hasn't done anything in her whole career. Can she see? Yeah. Okay. Women of Vision Award. There you go. Does she have vision? Okay. Give her the award.
She's got 20/20 vision and she deserves this award.
Yeah. It's a made-up award. It's a made-up paparazzi story. I know way too much about this.
That's true. Chad's handicap fan 199. Don, did you know Brett Hadley outed you as a swinger? Oh, did you know that?
I think that was the discount Brett Hadley. They did that.
Discount Brett talked about discount Don's fetishes. I'm gonna be like Joe. Someone's outing my my weird past. I actually, me and the guy that hit Joe with a bat used to swing together. Yeah, it looks like you made some contact.
Yeah.
Joe, this'll answer your question. New York is sinking. In a latest headline, there is good. Next story. That's the only thing I want. Yeah. There's a push to make Lower Manhattan look like a modern Venice, because apparently within 80 years, rising waters in the Hudson and the East River are going to encompass all of Lower Manhattan. So rather than doing anything about it, I love this. People say New York is about ingenuity. I think it's about it's just gritting your teeth and walking forward. Instead of doing something to lower sea levels or raise New York, someone goes, why don't we just turn it into Venice and just embrace the fact, let's just play off the island like we're in the Titanic and it's going down, and let the band go. Let Fight Eye keep going until you can't get into the door anymore. I think that's one of the greatest plans I've ever heard.
Yeah, Eric Adams is going to come out in a couple of weeks with a plan to for the migrants to actually start helming the gondolas in Lower Manhattan.
He's gonna go. My brother's in charge of swim lessons. Like, what's his qualifications? Well, he used to park valet cars. But he's gonna be training everyone to swim to the Statue of Liberty and climb up to the flame. And for that, I'm gonna pay him $250,000.
Yeah, we're gonna be giving everybody in Lower Manhattan canoes. You're right though. It's like, let's not do anything about it. Let's just figure out a way around it. But hey, listen, let the whole island sink except for the 2 clubs I actually still work in.
Just raise them up on stilts Hurricane Sandy.
Yeah.
Speaking of sinking ships, this is crazy. So there was the Kentucky Derby recently, and we were off a week, so we're going to cover it here. This is one of the wildest stories I've ever heard. Fox 12 Oregon started tweeting out a massive amount of horses started dying either before or after the Kentucky Derby. So much so that they had like a tally going on of like, another horse died. This horse is injured. This is going on. And I think it was something like 7 horses in total died. And then a numerous amount were injured. I mean, doesn't that just speak to, what does it say there? Yeah, 7th horses died at Churchill Downs out of the Kentucky Derby, with 2 euthanized after racing on the undercard. Isn't that wild? Isn't it wild that we just imagine? I used to have a bit on this that I actually used to do in every time it was the Kentucky Derby and I was performing in New York, and it was like a big deal that's the only athlete that can get injured on the field and we shoot it in front of each other. Like, can you imagine if Jeter rolled an ankle rounding second and then the coach came out with a shotgun and just put a towel over his head and was like, "You're out of pain now, boy."
Yeah, like when he made that catch in the stands that time and he got all banged up. And they're like, "Yeah, you ain't going to be starting tomorrow. Sorry,
right,
Derek."
Right. They saw his face and they just covered it and blew him away in front of everyone. You're out of pain now. Let's send him to the cleat factory to get made.
Yeah, exactly. That's, I don't, but that shit probably been going on in horse racing. It's just like, nothing could be secret now. Just like anything, every year people go, "Doesn't it seem like more celebrities are dying this year?" And they're like, not really. They die every year. It's the same amount that was before social media and afterwards.
Yeah.
And I'm not posting my picture with them 2 seconds after they're dead, on my Twitter account to prove, that I met whoever. It's the same with horses, man. That's a brutal sport, man. That shit happens all the time. So, people are just getting hip to it now. But, I don't know. I don't watch racing, so I don't care.
Sure. I love that you have a whole opinion and then you go, anyway, who gives a fuck? Here's what I think you should do. Instead of posting pictures of you with whatever celebrity that died, you should
do it with the horses.
Do it with just a horse eating an apple off your fucking hand in Central Park.
Right. Yeah. With a feed bag,
Never forget the time I opened for Seabiscuit at Chuckles in Albany.
This is me and Butterscotch after the show in the green room.
Nicest horse I ever met. Let me do 20 up top.
One of the nicest horses I've ever met in my entire equestrian career was Butterscotch.
Yeah. Didn't have a good race in his set, but nice guy. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
It was like when Lemmy from Motorhead died. I wasn't going to go ahead and post a picture right afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Discount Don.
Absolutely, guys. This reminds me of when I was born. The Rolling Stones were playing at the Stork Club in Manhattan, 1966. I was born just before the concert, but I made it to the show in time to hear Satisfaction and Paint It Black.
Now it's getting creepy because he knows my birth year.
We should when a rock star dies, I'm gonna tweet just a still picture of your face, and I'm gonna have Discount Don record vocals of a eulogy, and then I'll tweet that out for you. So instead of you having to go, I knew this person, I'll go, here's Don Jameson with a nice send off for this rock star.
Yeah, that's gonna go over well.
I'll make it very touching, Don. I will.
I have my own AI. I don't need,
That's right, brother.
Let's test that out. Andy Rourke, the Smiths bassist, recently died at 59. Discount Don, do you have anything nice to say about Andy Rourke?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not familiar with him. Who is this cat?
This cat.
I think you tipped the hat when you said people are getting hip to it.
Right. It's all the rage. Yeah, bass players dying is all the rage now, Kevin. I don't know if you know, but
I did not know that.
Yeah. I was never a fan of the Smiths. That's alternative stuff. I just know Morrissey's a whiny, annoying vegan. That's the only thing. Isn't he from the Smiths?
Oh,
Morrissey?
God. Discount.
Right.
Do you have can you fact check that, Discount?
You're right, Don. No, he's right. Don's always right.
Thank you, brother.
Discount Pochetti, do you have anything? Any thoughts on Andy Rourke dying?
Oh God, he was a good friend of ours. Sorry, Kevin, I got to go. My buddy needs to use the phone.
Discount Jim, any thoughts on Andy Rourke?
No, I wasn't a big fan of this mess.
Why would you be? There's no reason.
McCarthy.
They're depressing. You want to listen to that and get depressed? Stop with that. Put on AC/DC. Beautiful.
Exactly.
Can you imagine being a bassist? And I mean, those would have to be the hunter-gatherers of back in the, because you think of how flexible bassist fingers are and the concentration that they have.
It's wild how they do that with their fingers.
Dude, it's so wild. Like,
Man.
they've got to imagine if a bassist was actually an alien and they're just communicating with each other through the bass like Indian tribes used to do.
Yeah, like the pulsating beat of the bass. Oh man, it's wild to think about.
They're just out there watching.
Speaking of out there watching, listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Just Joking. The final two. We're in the runway here. Real Don, I do want to thank you for being on, pal. Thanks for hanging out at the end here. It's been fun the way it lined up, getting to hang out with some pals.
So what are you going to do now? Are you going to do another podcast?
I think eventually I'll figure out something. This series was dying for a while, and then I brought it back live to really make it more challenging.
I'm telling you, you got a year from now, you bring it back, and everyone, you'll be the darlings of the podcast world again.
Yeah. I'm really going for an "Are you garbage?" What do you think? That's what I'll do with the guests. Now, I'll figure something out. I'm honestly, I'm just enjoying. I've got a new album that's coming out soon that I'm in editing. I recorded in December, the last hour. The new material is great. I'm really just enjoying doing stand-up and really just doing what I've always done, I guess.
Yeah.
Podcasting is fun. It's a good time. This guy's got a podcast you can check out at That Rock Show on all social media. Don Jameson Official across all platforms. Real Don Jameson on Twitter. Where can people come see you, buddy?
Oh God, where am I going to be? I don't know what's coming up.
Discount Don, you got his schedule going on there?
Yeah, I do. Actually, while New York is sinking, I'm going to be in the Keyport, New Jersey area today between 3 and 4 doing a 1-hour set at the Airport Plaza Shopping Center. Just outside the massage parlor. Come by for some comedy in the back rub.
Wow, he name checks the Keyport, the airport mall. Strip mall. That's fucking classic, man.
It's hilarious. You can follow me online at all my social media at Kevin Dombrowski. It's probably been deleted from the folder, which is for the best, honestly. That's hilarious. I love that. I had such a weird picture. Every time Bob Levy saw it, he went, "You're not that long. Why are you so long in the picture?" there you go. Bob is not that long.
Is that your body?
No, that's God no. Do you think I'd be doing comedy if I was in that type of shape? I was
going to sign up for your OnlyFans.
That's my next project, really.
There you go.
Check out kevindombrowski.com. It's that's got all my shows. There's really nothing else on the website. It's just my tour dates. I'm at Bananas Comedy Club. I'm with my old buddy Mencia. He's back in town for the first time in years. So I'll be with him this weekend. Next weekend, I'm at Gotham for 5 shows in a row. And then I've got more shows. I think I'm with Voss in June at Yonkers Comedy Club. So I got some good dates coming up. So check out kevindombrowski.com for that. Tune in to the Shuli Network for all the other programming live. It's a great place to consume podcasts. You can check out our final episode of Just Joking next week, live on the Shuli Network and available everywhere after. Thank you guys for tuning in. Longtime fans, we appreciate you. Chat, thanks for hanging out. Come on back next week for the final episode of Just Joking, presented by Silky Hot Sauce. Full interviews, arguments. Thank you.